Hey guys, welcome back. Going to do an early impression video today here. Really excited to finally do this one. I've been beating my drum about this game for almost a year. Well, no, I started in September, so a few months here, but I've really been looking forward to this game for over a year. Basically, whenever it was first announced and I saw pictures of it. And today, we're going to do an early impressions of Xenoblade Chronicles for the Nintendo Wii. And, damn it, LaggyGamer, you beat me to it. But I'm about 10 hours in now, and I'm just really having an amazing time with it. 10 hours in, and I haven't even really scratched the surface of the game. I just got past the refugee camp for Colony 9, so just running around the Bionis' leg. So not really too far into the game yet, in 10 hours already. So for all you people out there who like Skyrim and Fallout and these Western RPGs where you're given quests and you basically just want to run around and do things for a long period of time, pick up Xenoblade Chronicles. I know it's a JRPG, it was made in Japan, but it really is almost kind of a westernized take on the JRPG genre, and I really think that if a lot more people give it a shot, they will definitely get into it. So let's get into it here. Let's talk a little bit about the game. I'm not going to talk too much about the storyline because, one, I've barely scratched the surface of the storyline, to be honest with you, but what I have seen, I've really enjoyed. A lot of... The big thing about the storyline so far for me is the voice acting. I'm really impressed with this British cast of voice acting. I think that they approach the material a lot differently than if an American voice acting company were to take on the story, because with a lot of Japanese games that are voice acted by American actors, they always tend to anime-ize it, you know what I mean? Like they give certain characters squeaky voices and other characters kind of boyish, strangely boyish voices, And what I find with this is the character Shulk, which I was really expecting a more sort of boyish voice, actually has kind of a very mannish voice. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying by that, but if you watch anime and you've played a lot of these Japanese games, I think you kind of understand where, every male character in a game sounds like they're 12 years old. And in a lot of ways, I think the voice for Shulk is very age appropriate. But, so what storyline stuff I have come across, which is basically the attack on Colony 6, and then, moving up the Bionis leg and meeting the people for Colony 9. Well, I haven't got to Colony 9 yet, but I've really been impressed with it, and it's really got a big... story of sort of sacrifice and tragedy to it. That this is why I play these JRPGs. I really like these big the stories like this. And this game is from the same guy who created Xenogears and Xenosaga, and I can already see sort of the seeds being planted for it getting really wild towards the end storyline wise. If you played either Xenogears or Xenosaga, you almost need a Bible to be able to figure out what's going on in those games, because the information is so dense. And if you ever played Xenogears, I highly recommend you guys go out and find the translated copy on the internet for the perfect works, because it really explains a lot of things. But at the same time, you can kind of see how they're evolving the JRPG genre, because Xenogears was a very balanced game between gameplay and storyline-wise, whereas Xenosaga, when you were playing Xenosaga, it almost felt like you were watching a movie with these little interactive skits every now and then. But Xenoblade really takes it back to a gameplay standpoint. This is an RPG for gamers, people who love to do various side quests. If you love to power up weapons, you got that in here. You can't do it very much early in the game, but later on there's going to be I can already tell, there's just a ton of customization in this game. And that's something that I think the JRPG genre kind of started off with, and then somewhere along the PS2, this generation kind of lost some of that customization that you could do with characters, and the Western RPGs really took that on. And I'm really glad that the JRPG genre has gone back to its roots, almost. Gameplay-wise, anyway. But this is a bold step forward for the genre. In a lot of ways, I'm kind of reminded of Final Fantasy XII from the gameplay standpoint, but I like this a lot more than Final Fantasy XII. I think the battles are exciting. You're constantly thinking on your feet. They're fast-paced. You're not going to be sitting here, watching, 10-minute long summons like you used to in the Final Fantasy games. This is a very fast-paced game. The music, as I've said before, the music is mind-blowingly gorgeous. However, the soundtrack does sound better than the actual music in the game. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast, This is a Wii game, and one thing I haven't mentioned yet is this game is fucking huge. Huge. I played 3 hours and I didn't even leave the first town. Just walking around trying to get all the points on the map. It's just amazingly vast. I mean, in a lot of ways, this makes Skyrim seem like, you're playing on a postage stamp, I mean, it's just huge. And, fitting all that information in on the disc, they kind of had to sacrifice something. So the music, while the music is still fantastic, and it's still amazing music, my CD soundtracks that I bought, they do sound better than the music that's actually in the game. The graphics, I think the graphics are just gorgeous. And I know it's not in HD. Who cares, I can look back at PS2 games, and, Dragon Quest VIII is still one of the most gorgeous games created from its visual standpoint. And, the character models in Xenoblade, there's a lot of detail, but when the camera closes in on their faces, like the eyes and the mouths are all blurry, you can kind of tell where some of the graphical, shortcuts are. But when you take into account how vast the game is and how great everything looks, it's mind-blowing that the Wii can do this. And it's unfortunate that here we are in sort of the last year of the Wii's life, and we're finally seeing what this system can do. Hopefully that Nintendo will manage the Wii U a little bit better than they did with the Wii, but it kind of sucks where, in a lot of ways with all three of these current gen systems, I really feel like we're finally hitting the stride point, and we're finally getting some fantastic stuff out of it, and then it's like, hey, new consoles are looming on the horizon here, and it's like, no, we just kind of cracked these three systems, and they're really finally doing what they said that they were going to do when they first put them out, and now it's so really, I don't really think we need another console genre or console generation. Especially with the Wii, after looking at this, there's so much stuff that people can do with this system if they would just sit down and try, instead of chucking out, more and more short mini games. But fantastic game, guys! Really an awesome game. I got it on pause and the TV muted there. I had to take my glasses off because the screen was reflecting in my eyes. But I was just playing it, and I was like, I have to stop and I have to make this video. If you guys haven't got Xenoblade yet, if you're on the fence about it, just stop, because there's something here for everybody. It's got the familiar aspects that we want from a JRPG, storyline-wise, environment-wise. The environments so far are just drop-dead gorgeous. And it's got stuff in here for you Western RPG players, where if you want to have, fast, sort of real-time battles, it has that. You don't have direct control over, your attacks. Like, your character, once you initiate battle, your character will auto-attack the enemy, and basically you're just picking the skills you want to use. It's a fantastic system. I really do like it. It's a little bit, it's not quite the same as, me saying that, and I just thought about it. It's like, you're like, well, Dustin, you say that about this game, but what about Final Fantasy 13 that kind of had the same thing where it's auto-battling for you? This is a little bit different. I feel like you have to put a little bit more strategy in with this game than you do Final Fantasy 13 in some respects. But it has not endless amounts, but just an amazing amount of side quests and stuff like that for you guys that just want to quest and gather items and build things, which eventually I think you'll be able to do. You can't do it right here early in the game. Early in the game is really trying to get you acclimated to the systems and the storyline and get things set up. And I think as I move later into the game, I'm going to find that there's going to be almost an insane amount of customization. And so yeah, one problem I do have with the game. I do have a problem with this game, and it's kind of a big problem maybe. For the most part, the game is not hard. It's not hard yet, except when you're fighting a battle, and this has happened to me countless times. I'm fighting against monsters that are level appropriate for me, maybe a little bit higher so I can gain some more experience, and I'm just kind of, doing my thing, ducking and jiving around the monsters to get to the back to do those back attacks to really deal some damage. And when I pan the camera around, all of a sudden I see this huge beast lumbering towards me, and it ends up being like a level 77 monster. And this has happened to me several different times where I'm fighting level appropriate monsters, and I didn't even see this thing around, and all of a sudden this level 77 monster just comes in and wipes my party out. Now, in other games, this would be a horrible, horrible thing. But in this game, it just loads you back to your previous checkpoint. You still have all your items and experience and everything. It's just, you kind of have to, trek back to where you were a little bit. So it's kind of a hassle, but it's a lot better than having to reload from a save point or your last save or something. So I'm really happy with that system, but God, it's just so many times I've just been sucker punched by these level 77 monsters. It's pretty ridiculous, but like I said, guys, I'm planning on doing a full review for this game when I get it finished. I don't do reviews. Full discussion. Correct terminology there. When I finish this game, but this could go upwards of 100 hours, and I really do see myself putting as much time into this as I can. So I wouldn't expect a game discussion on this anytime soon. You'll probably see some other game discussions first, because I'm playing some portable games, but fantastic game, guys. Go out and buy it. Support Nintendo. Support Monolith Soft. It's pretty miraculous that we got this in the States. Definitely go out and pre-order The Last Story also. It's another one of the Wii's big three, as it were. Hopefully we get Pandora's Tower. But I definitely have to give a huge shout out to Operation Rainfall. You guys set out with a mission and you made it happen. And we can debate whether the efforts that we all put in through Operation Rainfall worked, or if this was part of Nintendo's strategy all along. I really think that it was part and parcel Operation Rainfall's. I don't want to say fault, but it was due to Operation Rainfall that we got these games over here, because they made a lot of noise. IGN made a lot of noise about not getting this. Then GameSpot jumped onto the bandwagon. So, I mean, there was just a lot of noise about this game, and I'm so happy we got it. You guys have to see it to believe it. You have to play it to believe it, really. So, go out and buy it. It's one of the best. You see, I haven't played Last Story yet, so, but I'm going to say that so far, this is my favorite JRPG this generation, and it's definitely in the running to be one of my favorite all-time JRPGs. I'm really going to have to do those lists sometimes, like a top 10 all-time favorite JRPGs, and really sit down and think about it and weigh the pros and cons, but you guys got to check this game out. If you have a Wii, it's a no-brainer. It uses the, get over here, the classic controller for controls, or you can use the nunchuck and Wii remote. There's no waggle controls in this, so you might as well just get a controller, a classic controller, because it's just fantastic. So, alright guys, that's it for me on Xenoblade. I was worried about getting GameStopped and not getting my art book, but I did get my art book. But LaggyGamer already did a video for it. I'll put a link to his video for the art book, so you guys can check that out on his channel. Yeah, go get this game. Just do it now. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Go buy it. So that's it. I will see you guys next time. The next video will be a gameplay video. I might shoot it later tonight where I play a little bit of Monster World 4 and show you that game. So you guys, if you get interested in it, you can go get it on Xbox Live Arcade when it pops on there, or you can go order one of the reproduction carts like I did. So, all right, guys, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.